roles. You want people to say, hey, would you like to be in this TV show or this movie or this play? I mean,
he is one of the shortest men to ever become one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Danny DeVito built a career playing loud, brash, larger-than-life characters, men who never seemed to need anyone's permission to take up space in a room. But in October 2012, after 30 years of marriage, Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman quietly announced they were separating. Tabloids called it one of the most shocking celebrity breakups in Hollywood. Reports pointed to years of quiet unhappiness beneath the surface of a marriage that from the outside had looked unbreakable. And then something happened that nobody expected. They never filed for divorce. More than a decade later, they still attend family events together. They still call each other family. And when Rhea Perlman was finally asked on a podcast why she never signed the papers, she paused for a long moment and gave an answer that revealed something neither of them had ever fully said out loud.
Why it's difficult for other people, but Danny and I have always loved each other. And
this is the story of a man who spent his whole career playing the loudest guy in the room, and the one relationship in his life he could never actually let go of. Daniel Michael DeVito Jr. was born on November 17, 1944 in Neptune Township, New Jersey, and grew up in nearby Asbury Park, the youngest of 3 children in a close working-class Italian-American family. His father ran a pool hall and a small stationery and candy store. The house was loud, warm, and never quiet. The kind of household that would later show up almost unchanged in nearly every character DeVito ever played. He was short, noticeably so even as a boy in an era and neighborhood that didn't always treat that kindly. Other kids noticed before he ever had to point it out himself. He has said over the years that being small forced him to become sharper and funnier than the room around him. That he learned early on to make people laugh before they had the chance to make him feel small in front of them. It wasn't a strategy so much as survival, and it became the foundation of everything he built afterward. He trained as a hairdresser before acting ever entered the picture, working quietly in his sister's salon. It wasn't until his early 20s that he found his way to American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York, and from there into off-Broadway theater. Small stages, small paths, no clear sign yet of the fame that was still a decade away. In 1970, Danny DeVito was renting a New York apartment, and 1 floor above him lived a young actress named Rhea Perlman. That didn't meet through some grand romantic gesture. They met through the plain, unglamorous geography of 2 broke actors living in the same building, running into each other in hallways and stairwells. They started dating. Neither of them had money. Neither of them had a career yet worth mentioning. What they had instead was patience, an unusual, quiet kind of commitment because the 2 of them dated for 12 full years before they ever got married. No rush, no pressure. Just 2 people building something slowly while the rest of their lives were still uncertain. DeVito's career moved first. In 1975, he appeared in the film adaptation of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Then, in 1978, he was cast as the tyrannical dispatcher Louis De Palma on the sitcom Taxi. And in a small twist of fate neither of them could have planned, Rhea Perlman appeared the same year in an episode of Taxi, playing his on-screen girlfriend. Real life was already quietly rehearsing itself. Perlman's own breakthrough arrived the same year, when she was cast as a sharp-tongued waitress Carla on Cheers, a role that would run for 11 seasons and make her a star in her own right, entirely on her own terms. 2 working actors, both suddenly famous at almost the same moment, both still choosing each other after over a decade of waiting. In January 1982, Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman finally got married. What followed wasn't just a marriage, it became one of the most productive creative partnerships in modern Hollywood. DeVito's career exploded through the 1980s and 90s, Romancing the Stone, Batman Returns, Twins, and his own directorial work on The Throw Moma from the Train and The War of the Roses. In 1996, he and Perlman starred together again in Matilda, with DeVito directing, casting his own wife, once more, as someone who understood him better than any script could explain. Behind the scenes, the 2 of them co-founded Jersey Films in 1992, named after DeVito's home state. Through it, the couple had a hand in producing Pulp Fiction, Erin Brockovich, Garden State, and Freedom Writers. This wasn't a marriage where one person's career quietly disappeared behind the others. It was 2 people equally ambitious who found a way to build side by side instead of drifting apart for years. That felt like the real secret of their success. They had 3 children together, Lucy born in 1983, Grace in 1985, and Jacob in 1987. Those close to the family have described a home that, despite two famous, constantly working parents, still centered entirely around the kids. School plays, dinners, the ordinary chaos of raising three children while building an empire in the background. By every outward measure, this was one of the rare Hollywood marriages that seemed built to survive anything. Two hardworking people who made both love and business work at the same time, for 3 decades without either one swallowing the other. And then in October 2012, after 30 years of marriage, it ended. The news broke quietly at first, then spread everywhere. Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman were separating. Some reports at the time pointed to years of unhappiness beneath the surface. Others speculated about DeVito's attention wandering. Neither of them ever gave the tabloids a full explanation. What is known is that the split wasn't simple or immediate. 5 months after the initial announcement, they quietly reconciled. Then in 2017, they separated again. This time for good, romantically. But even that second separation came with a strange asterisk attached to it. They never divorced. Years later, Rhea Perlman was finally asked directly about it on a podcast in 2023. She didn't dodge the question, but she didn't fully answer it either. There was a long pause before she spoke. She said carefully that there had been a lot of reasons they separated. Reasons she chose not to name. She admitted the breakup had been genuinely difficult for her, that she wasn't going to pretend otherwise. It had taken real time, she said, for the two of them to arrive at what she called a pretty decent understanding with each other. But underneath that caution, something more tender slipped through. She said that she and DeVito had always loved each other, that their family remained the most important thing to both, that the idea of legally ending it never made sense to her, because as she put it on another occasion, there was nothing to gain from unraveling decades of shared history over what she called the yucky things that come with divorce. She has since spoken quietly and without much self-pity about her life alone, living with her dog, whom she now half-jokingly calls her partner in life. She has admitted she doesn't especially love living by herself, even as she insists she values her independence. When asked almost teasingly whether she wanted to be set up with someone new, her answer said more than she probably intended. Only if it was someone really wonderful, and even then, she didn't sound like a woman in any hurry to look. Danny DeVito is 81 years old. Rhea Perlman is 77. They have never divorced. They still attend family events together, birthdays, premieres, holidays that never stopped, including both. In 2022, they walked the red carpet side by side at the Avatar: The Way of Water premiere, alongside their daughter Lucy, as if the word separated barely applied to how they actually lived their lives. They now share a granddaughter, Sinclair Lucille, born to Lucy. A new chapter neither of them is experiencing alone, and one that has quietly pulled the whole family closer again. DeVito has said publicly that although they no longer live together, they remain, in his own words, a tight family. He still speaks of Perlman with warmth in his voice, still credits their decades together as the foundation of everything he has, still shows up without fail whenever it matters. Those close to the couple describe something that doesn't fit neatly into any of the categories Hollywood tabloids like to use. Not quite married in the way most people mean it. Not quite divorced. Not quite together, not quite fully apart. Just two people who built an entire life together. 3 children, 1 grandchild. A production company, a shared history so large that neither of them has ever found a good enough reason to legally end it. The boy from Asbury Park who turned being different into his greatest strength instead of hiding from it. The 2 broke actors who waited 12 patient years before marriage. The couple who built an empire side by side and then even in their 80s still can't quite let each other go. At 81, Danny DeVito has spent a lifetime playing characters louder and bigger than life itself. But the truest thing about him may be the quietest one. A marriage that never legally ended because somewhere underneath 30 years of history, neither of them ever really wanted it to. And maybe that's exactly how it still looks today. Danny DeVito spends most of his time close to home in New York now, still working when a role genuinely interests him, but no longer chasing the pace that once defined his career. Those around him describe a man who has slowed down physically in ways age eventually demands of everyone, but whose spirit, by every account, hasn't dimmed at all. He still shows up for his children and his grandchild without fail, still calls Rhea most weeks just to talk, and still, according to people close to the family, refers to her as the person who knows him better than anyone else alive.